morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Prosperity Playground.
It's Tracy,
And I'm George.
and we're here on Facebook Live as we do on Monday mornings, as well as on the phone lines with our beloved, amazing community. So welcome.
Welcome. We've got stay to the end because we've got a special gift for you in honor of the new year and being on Facebook Live on Mondays. And
Should we say what we do here in Let's Play?
Yeah.
The playground's
Yeah.
about. So here in the Prosperity Playground, we meet with our beloveds, our dear community, every morning, Monday to Friday, and drop into some spiritual principles and wisdom truths, ancient teachings, things that we've heard for eons, and, or at least in this lifetime, probably many times before. And we really look at them in terms of what it means for our everyday life. So it's great to hear something maybe once a week, or read a book, or hear a speaker, and then kind of put that up on the shelf and go about your everyday. But here what we do in the playground is we really take this and we practice in our everyday moments, in our personal relationship, in our business, in our life, in our understanding of wealth and abundance, in all areas, so that we are embodying these truths and not just talking about it.
and we try to be as transparent as possible with what we're sharing. It's not like we make this up. It's we live it and we work with it every day. And case in point, we had a particular topic in mind for you this morning, and we were just dropping in and realized that consciousness, wealth consciousness, love consciousness, health consciousness, whatever consciousness you might be working on, in this case, in the Prosperity Playground, we really concentrate on abundance consciousness, prosperity consciousness, because look, we all know people who they don't have what my mom used to say, two nickels to rub together, and they're the happiest people on the planet. They have real abundance consciousness. They have all the friends they need. They have all the love they need. They know they have a roof over their head, and they're full of gratitude. And then we know people with all the money in the world, with so much anxiety and so much stress and so much this and that. And we're not saying one is better than the other, but the point is that the consciousness around it is a choice. And what we realized this morning is that choice is work. It doesn't come naturally sometimes. Sometimes it's a real decision, and that's why we practice this every day. Yeah.
So specifically, and I just want to say good morning, Charmaine, Sonia, Jerry, Beth, good morning.
Good morning, Sonia.
Beth. So as we were planning to talk about something else, we had a little disagreement and little altercation here in the household.
Altercation. We didn't throw down. I don't know if it was.
It wasn't really like an altercation, but it was. We had like a little energetic clash, tete-a-tete, as they would say in my place of birth, Montreal. Mm-hmm. So, and what happened was that, and the details are so irrelevant, like they don't matter. It was, planning the morning. It was nothing, really. And though it was an energetic leak. It was an energetic leak. And so we came back together very quickly and made a choice. To your point, we made a choice. We decided to do a do-over. Let's do that again. Without having to process what just happened, what, blah, blah, blah. Let's just take another shot at that. And we did, and literally within 30 seconds, we were great. Less than that, like 10 seconds, we were great. We were peaceful. We were back in our connection and in love. And all of that energy that started to dissipate was harnessed and brought back together. And that was the choice that we made. That was, go ahead.
Well, we and in teasing it out a little bit, we realized that was possible because we've had those conversations. We've decided together, and this is true for any one of us, but also if you're in partnership, it's important to have these conversations together, that we had identified the more important energy, the more important consciousness for us. We've identified that consciousness of peace and using that energy to stay focused on prosperity and abundance and peace and kindness and compassion is the highest order of things for us. The highest order of things, the environment we create here in our home. And having had those decisions, having had made those decisions, having had those conversations, we were able to make that decision. So the invitation is really, what conversations do you get to lead in your life to identify those values for yourself, those priorities, so that when the moment gets a little jiggy, you can hinky, whatever that expression is.
Jiggies.
You
can
can
get jiggy with it. It's good.
I don't think that was the right use.
I don't know, but it's okay.
I don't think that word means what I think it means.
It's not quite an altercation. It's not quite a jiggy.
So that when things get wobbly, you've already had those conversations. You already know what those values are.
Yeah. And that you've made the choices before you need before you need to make those choices. You've already made those choices. You've already committed to ways of being. And that's why here in the Prosperity Playground and here in the Amazing Community, we're so committed to having practices that keep you supported in the moments that happen every day, so that you build up that reservoir, so that in those moments you can have a do-over, you can try again. And there are other moments where it's not about doing a do-over. It's about, we need to sit down and look at what just happened and get under that, because there's gold in that. So it's truly, truly, truly both about recognizing that in order to create an amazing life, which is what we're really about and what this whole consciousness, this whole conversation is about, is to recognize that you're at choice. And things are going to happen all the time in a split second. I don't want to say all the time. Things can happen often in a split second that could take you off and have you leak your energy. And so those are the moments where you've already made a choice to come back to peace. You've already made a choice to come back to stillness. You've already made a choice to be kind to yourself and to those around you. And then it's a practice.
Which actually was part of the original message we wanted to share with you this morning, is that it's, you've heard me say it's called work, it's work, but that work is in the form of practices that can be the simplest little thing. It could be a note on your bed nightstand. It could be a reminder in your phone. It could be
this call that you get on every Monday to Friday.
Every Monday or every weekday, depending on if you're in the Amazing Community. And these practices take many shapes and forms, and they help us stay in the conversation, stay in the vibration, and go to that place of the highest value.
And the truth for us is that we live this every day, throughout the day. This, what you're talking about, these choice points, these moments, and what it really takes to live an amazing life, what it really takes to live in a consciousness that feels true. You always get to say, each one of us here has our own truth. But what feels true for you, to fulfill what's in your heart, to share what's in your heart, to give what's in your heart, to create the richness and the riches of life, it takes choices and practices and awareness to stay awake moment to moment to moment and present, so that you don't need a big to happen in your life to wake you up. Instead, you're paying attention. And in those smaller moments, you can harness the love and the kindness and the consciousness, and then keep going from there.
And while you were saying that, it really hit me why you need to do that, why it's so important to do to establish the practice ahead of time. And it's never too late. I don't remember who said it. The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is right now. And so the best time to start a habit was yesterday, and it's never too late. The time is now. And here's why it's important. We really believe that if you're here, we believe this of everybody, but particularly if the universe has seen fit to have you on your path cross ours, is that there's something inside you that the world needs. Not, oh, that would be nice, but that the world needs. You take this example of this, I can't remember her name now, this woman who tidies things up, and she's famous for this. Does it spark
Marie,
joy?
Yeah. Marie.
We're gonna. So my point is that you might hear that, or hear her stuff or see her stuff on Facebook and think, well, does the world need that? But yeah, the world needs. There's population in the world clearly who needed to consume that content, if you will, that needed to hear her message, that needed to resonate with her truth. Does it spark joy? Because their lives lacked the spark of joy. And I believe with every cell in my body that we all have our version of that. And our version of that message, our version of that, Marie Kondo. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah. And that we all have our version of that. And our version of that may not call for a Netflix special, but our version of that is needed by someone in this world. And I say that, and I know that in my cells because you're here. That's it. No other reason. Not because there's a 10-book deal in it, not because there's a Netflix special in it, although all of those things may be true. It may be a podcast, it may be a series of posts, it may be a collection of poems, it may be a conversation that you are invited to have with your children. But I believe with every cell in my body that since you're here, that medicine is inside you. And that's why it's important to do the practices. That's why it's important to make those decisions and identify those values ahead of time. That's why do-overs are important, to conserve your energy so that you can have those conversations, lead those conversations, and share your message and medicine with the world.
I love that you just said all that. And it's Marie Kondo who said, does it spark joy? And I just want to speak to the power of that as well. Just connect a dot, because I don't think it was random that you chose that. It's perfect. Is that we here also believe, if you're here connected to us, that not only do you have a message and medicine to be shared, but also one that uplifts humanity. And so does it spark joy, as an example, is such a beautiful invitation to connect with a higher vibration in a conversation that can otherwise be shameful or embarrassing, like, oh my God, I have a mess, I'm a hoarder. I'm not, but like hoarder. Okay, that's another prosperity playground, but not this one today. I'm not really a
Not
hoarder.
at all.
Okay. Just for the record.